Johnny Test. Whether you love it or hate it, you cannot deny the success that it had on Cartoon Network. The show started off over 10 years on Kids WB, and after a few seasons, the rest of the series aired on Cartoon Network. The series went for about 6 seasons, which many other cartoons can't say the same. The series went through many changes, from voice acting to the theme song. Many people despise the show, criticizing the lack of animation quality as well as the quality of the plots, oversaturation of the show, rude characters, among many other things. Although I don't outright hate the series, let me shed some light on something many people don't know. There was a merger of the UPN and the WB to the CW television network, which resulted in many budget cuts for the show, and resulted in the hiatus of the actual show. Due to this change, the writers, storyboarders, art crew who worked on the first season were let go, resulting in an entirely new crew managing the show, as well as a budget of the show dropping dramatically, leading to seasons 2 and 3 of the show being animated in Adobe Flash. I know it doesn't excuse the quality of the plots if you have that opinion, but I hope you learn to dislike it from an informed point of view. However, if you're like me and you actually do like the earlier seasons, let me be the first to show you the Kids WB website. However, if I were to review all the stuff I found wrong within the show, we would be here all night, so instead, I would rather talk about the games. So the first game we have here is Doogie Bath. The game is okay, giving you a very modest amount of words that you can guess for. The game is basically Hangman. The game does not have background music, but it does have sound effects. Now, unless you can pull out the right emotion, having sound effects with no music is generally a bad idea for many reasons. One of them being that since there is little music in the game, people can hear blasting at full volume and wake up their neighbor's baby down the street. It gives off a very unnatural, rushed feeling. At least have the voice actors give a little dialogue. The game runs smoothly enough, however for a game without many variations on its choices, I find it kind of funny, and by funny I mean totally annoying, that they have this slider here that instead of resetting to 0 once you win, it just goes back an arbitrary amount. The game also features quite a bit of outside references that have nothing to do with this show in particular. I can imagine WB in the back realizing that Johnny Test doesn't have many running themes that they can utilize for this game. Also, I see no reason to not put Dookie in the bath. If he's dirty, then I'd want to. I never want to be that guy, but I find your game fails if the consequence is something that I want more than winning. I guess for those of you who like to go on websites like 1112.net or solutionstudios.com, home of the longest website, then you'd probably love the mundane and plain games that Johnny Test half-heartedly offers. So then we go over to the Sisters Revenge, which reminds me a lot of the Phantom Revenge, who produced some of the catchiest French house songs I've ever heard. French house. If this were Pokemon, our evolved form would be Vaporwave. I want you guys to pay attention to this screen right here. For some odd reason, Johnny Test's character looks like this in nearly every scene. Why is one of his sleeves stapled to his shirt and the other one just fine? Why is he on his tippy toes as if he were trying to stop on his lady killing Heelys? Even Johnny's face looks unnatural as if it was the first draft of him. Also, it's cute that you switch the color scheme of the logo to make lazy people feel like they're doing something. Literally takes 10 seconds in GIMP. Now the game is about pressing buttons at the right time, just like your Guitar Heroes, Thrillavilles, and those arcade games that you use with your feet. Johnny Test moves into fame, giving you an entire Jurassic era to react to a direction on the side of the screen. Seriously, the amount of time you have to react is insane. To be fair on this one, kids may have slower reaction times than, let's say, an 18-year-old who may have been gaming for about a decade. I also believe that the speed gradually speeds up, however I wouldn't know because I've been using the same pace since level 1. Also, this game has music, but the other one didn't? Oh, I'm sorry, before I get caught up, this music is a 10-second loop that sounds more at home as an extra on your old SmackDown vs. Raw. Johnny Test is in big trouble. Johnny's super genius twin sisters are trying to zap him with a brain freezing machine? Okay, wait, what? Why? He's not calling for help? I mean, the lab is not a secret in this series. So after getting into the game, I realized that pressing the wrong button does kill you. However, instead of having Johnny get crushed for not reacting, he reacts and gets killed as if the sisters already knew which side he was gonna jump to. They also squish and stretch the assets of this game almost, and it doesn't look really good. On a positive note, the game at least has more energy. I don't want to see Johnny squished exactly, however if you did, I wouldn't blame you. The next game on deck is a backlot road race. Out of all of them, this has the most energy. You do have a better control and the music is longer by a few seconds. I wouldn't complain on the quality of the look of this game because it was a long time ago. However, the game should handle well, right? Wait, what? I'm sorry, I thought you were on a skateboard, not a flippin' pogo stick. I'm not sure where we are, but the physics are akin to your local sky zone. Also, they use 3D clouds in the background, as well as this rush hill and possibly reuse assets from your local first page of Googling free game assets. There are times where I swear I touched the other side, but since the actual piece that needs to touch it is smaller than the actual skateboard, because of logic, I'm out of luck. They don't give me the excuse of the game then being too easy to play if they implement that. The last game had 3 levels. Not to mention you had the time of Pangea breaking up to react. Seriously, go play the last game. Put bread in the toaster. Go walk your dog. Mourn over the loss of Blockbuster. Come home, realize that the toaster settings were for minutes and not level of crunchiness, butter that toast watching your favorite eds, then come back and realize you still have a few hours left to react to those indicators. Seriously, I know this is a different game, but the controls in these games are way too loose for anyone to take seriously. It isn't challenging and rewarding, it's easy and cheap. I also love how this is called a race when all I'm doing is getting from point A to point B at a near constant speed with no time limit or other competitors. But you wanna know what they do animate? The goddamn boxes! Yes, when I play Pac-Man, I don't want Pac-Man to animate. No, we don't want that. Let's animate the cherry. When I play Grand Theft Auto, let's not animate this guy. Let's animate the police's car's bumper sticker. I understand putting the indication that the character hit something, but honestly, it doesn't even matter. I could put a 5-year-old in front of this, and after grasping the controls, the boxes are nothing more than a minor inconvenience. This game is the most exciting, and somehow it still isn't. Not much replay value once you get used to the laughable physics. Now you're probably wondering why I skipped this game here. That is because this game is the prime example of putting as much effort into being as lazy as possible. This game takes the reactions of Sister's Revenge with the lazy references of Dookie's Bath and combines the awful game mechanics of the backlot road race to create the most frustratingly flawed games of the 4. The game operates under music, which again makes me question why Dookie's Bath didn't get music. It also has a reference, which I'm not sure came before or after the particular episode, and I just don't care. They get the character design right, which gives the Sister's Revenge no excuse to look like that. You may have noticed the bump in quality in this particular cartoon game. This particular cartoon game doesn't have WB slapped on it or around the game, so this could be from Cartoon Network. The game tries to pride itself on rhythm when the game doesn't have it. Come on, if David Guetta can have rhythm, then this computer can have rhythm. The game also borrows the completely merciless and arbitrary use of keeping your health consistent through rounds. This isn't an action-adventure game where your health is there to prevent you from being reckless. This is a rhythm game and it's only there to make sure you don't beat the game as quick. But all of these games are quick, which makes the use of that a head scratcher. But I guess they can squeeze a fraction more out of you in ad revenue if you play the games on their site for 10 minutes instead of 10 seconds. Although if you don't have that much incentive to play in the first place, these games don't offer much. You can play much better alternatives that scattered all over the internet, including Cartoon Network, which I am sure has better Johnny Test games than their own website. This website is still up because of DHX Media, the proud people behind great brands such as Teletubbies, Caillou, Super Wide, Degrassi, and so much more. I'm sorry, you didn't hear me? Well, maybe you'll be able to read it better on their about page of their site because they plaster it 4 times on this page alone. So those are the legendary Johnny Test games. They show the biggest reason why people hate Johnny Test, the laziness. Even putting in the bare minimum is not enough for kids nowadays. Although I respect the earlier WB seasons of Johnny Test, these games they put out are subpar, and I highly doubt that the games brought in new viewers. The character page looks nice, however, just like the kids they probably target to, as well as Johnny Test himself, we don't like to read, not even for the slightest. So this was something new. It's a game review. I hope your time was well spent, and Alpha out.